Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be a special Succos for Moshe Yudah ben Peshetina, Levracha V'Atzlacha B'chol Ma'aseh Yadav, and the Refuah of Mordechai David ben Leah, and Yeshua Meir ben Rachel Sarah. We're going to be continuing our series of Shiur ben the Sefer Mamar Pachad Yitzchak on Succos. Now we're in Maimer Ches. Bein Yonah writes, Kizera kodesh yasigu kol hanaga tova mizechiras Hashem Yisbarach. The holy seed will attain every good behavior from their memory of Hashem. When they remember Hashem, they are going to act in appropriate ways. So he's medaktik, and he writes here Zera kodesh because he's basing himself on the pasuk Hashem yitztaku v'yishalalu Kol Zera Yisrael. In Hashem they will be justice, they will have justice, and they will be praised. All the seed of Israel. So therefore he used this lashon when talking about the proper behavior of Zera Yisrael. But we have to understand that the pasuk here did not say Yisrael. It said Zera Yisrael, the seed of Yisrael. So based on what we explained in a previous shir, the emphasis here is that this inyan of halicha b'darkei hamakom is binyan yisod ha'avos b'Yisrael. That going in the path of Hashem, that's what built the fatherhood of the avos. Because they went in the path of Hashem, they were zocha to be avos. Like the Rambam says on the pasuk v'shamru derech Hashem, that they go in the path Hashem goes in. They have the proper midos. So this matter that the memory of Hashem gives a person in Haga Tova is through this inyan of Halicha B'Drachav. Because Haga Tova is included in Darchei Hashem that were revealed to us in the Torah. So Dafka, in this matter, it is correct to say Zera Yisrael. Why Zera Yisrael? Because here we're talking about Anhagas Tovos. Anhagas Tovos is, the correct behavior, is going in the pathways of Hashem. And that's what makes the Zera Kodesh. The reason the Avos were Avos was because they were Holech B'Darkei Hashem. And therefore they have Zera Kodesh who also go B'Darkei Hashem. That's the emphasis here on Zera Kodesh Yasigu. And Hashem Yitzku V'Yishalu Kol Zera Yisrael. That we are praised, the seed of Israel, when we go in the path of Hashem, because that's how we became the seed of Israel. That's the Binyan Avos of Knesset Yisrael. We continue in Maimer Tes, Lo ata yevosh Yaakov, Lo ata panav yechavaru. Yeshaya Chof Tes Chof Beis. Not now will Jacob be embarrassed, and not now will his face become pale. We see in the Medrash Rabbah, in Bamidbar, Parsha Beis, Osiyud Gimel, that Avram Avinu is connected, is Nimshal Lachama, and Yitzchak to the Levana, and Yaakov to the Kochavim. And because of this, La'asid Lavo, Yaakov is not going to be embarrassed, because Yaakov is Nimshal Kochavim, because by Kochavim we don't find Busha, La'asid Lavo, only for the sun and the moon we find Busha. As it says, V'chafra Levana, Busha Bosha Achama. So it says in the Pasuk in Yeshaya Chof Dalet Chof Gimel, that the Levana is going to be embarrassed, the Chama, the sun is going to be embarrassed, the moon is going to be embarrassed, but not the stars. And therefore, state in Pasuk, Yaakov is not going to be embarrassed because Yaakov is Nimshal HaKochavim, and we don't find that Kochavim are embarrassed. So we can explain this with first understanding what the rabbis mean when they use the expression Bein Hashmashos. Between Shkias Hacham and Seitz Kochavim is Bein Hashmashos. But what's the Bein Hashmashos? In between the suns, which two suns? I understand there's the sun before, where's the sun afterwards? So why is it called Bein Hashmashos this period? The Kochavim appeased the moon after the moon made itself small, as we see in Chazal, Rashi Bereshis, Aleph Tes Zayin, Bereshis Rava, Parsha Vav Oz Daled. We want to understand the explanation of this piyus, of this appeasement. So the key to understanding this is the light that comes from the words of the Vilna Gaon and the Brach of Yotze Or V'Orei Choshech, that Yetzira, it relates to the Or, and Bria to the Choshech. The Gra writes that even though the Bria is higher than the Yetzira, and L'chora, we should be miyaches the Or to what is higher. Nevertheless, there is, because Bria is a higher world. So why is Choshech relate to Bria, which is a higher world than Yetzirah, and Yetzirah is Or is a lower world? So the answer is that there is a Choshech that's really Or. It's higher than our Or. And since this Or is so great, it blinds us. And we call it Choshech. The Grud says this in his Siddur. We can also explain the Lashon of Sagi Nohar. There is too much light. Now, when someone's blind, we call it too much light. Because that's what happens when there's too much light, it turns into darkness. So that's the Borei Choshech. All of this light made darkness for us because we couldn't take it. It knocked us with blindness. This extra light, this super light. So it emerges then that our night, which is Choshech, is a remez to the Choshech that is before the light of day, which is really the great light. In other words, our Choshech, our night, is a remez to this darkness that's really light. We just can't take the light, so for us it seems darkness. But really, if we were Zoche, we would be able to see this great light, so it's really much higher. So the Brias HaChoshech is higher than the Yetziras HaOr. What is the remez to the light of the darkness? And the answer is the stars. Like we see in the beginning of Psachim, if a person makes a neder min ha'or, he's asur ba'oran shel kochavim. So you see the light of the stars, he's asur enjoy the light of the stars. The remez to the light, the great light at night, which is alluding to something much greater, much deeper, much higher light, that is found in the stars. And that's what Chazal say, that the kochavim were given to the moon as a piyus, l'shamesh l'kavod, l'mechabed, that the kavod of the Levana is that the Levana serves at such a time when there is such a intense level of light, and that's what the stars represent. And that's what we mean when we say Bein Hashmashos, between Shkias Hacham and Seis Kochavim. And Seis Kochavim is Besod Hashemesh HaGadola. That's the secret of the great blinding sun, which is above our comprehension, and therefore by us, it's called Choshech, but it's really a tremendous amount of Or. So therefore we say Bein Hashmashos, in between the first sun, the regular sun of day, and the great sun alluded to at night. And that's the root of Succos, because that's a suffix time. Is it night, is it day? Because the area in between the place where we have a understanding of this world and a place that's mufka from a tfisa of this world, that's completely divorced from understanding in this world. In other words, you have what we do understand in this world, we don't understand in this world. That area in between, that's the place of suffix. It's called by the Mekubalim Ilana Desfeika. So Bein Hashmashos is in between day, which is the light we understand, the light of this world, and the great light of night, which is completely beyond our comprehension. It's mamish out of our league, out of our ballpark. And in between that area is Succos, because it's in between. It's a little bit nishda here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So Memela, that's the world of Succos. Now the midah of Avram Avinu is Ava, and we find a dugma to that in this world of Ava, so to the midah of Yitzchak, which is Yirol, and the midah of Yaakov, which is his skalalus, joining together, meshing the midah of Avram, midah of Yitzchak, we don't find in this world, because in the world of Teva, there's generally not Ava and Yira b'makom echad. It's going to be either Ava or Yira. And Yaakov, who brings the two together, this glory, this teferes of bringing midah and Ava and Yira together, that's not shayach to this world. So Yaakov is nimshal kochavim, because the or of the kochavim is min ha'olam haba. But we don't have a dugma to this in olam hazeh, because we don't see the or haganuz that blinds the eye. We can't get to see that in this world. So when it says v'chafra levanu v'osha achama, they're going to be so embarrassed. What's the embarrassment of the moon and the sun, Lasid Lavo, because they're going to see the Or HaGanuz. The Or HaGanuz is going to be revealed, the hidden light. And then the moon and the sun are going to be so embarrassed. By Yankiv it says, Lo Ata Yerbush Yankiv, because he's Shayach to this Or HaGanuz, Tif, 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 very deep. So, based on what we said with respect to the Kochavim, we can understand a little bit better the pasuk Halu Shemesh v'Yareach, Halu Kol Kochavei Or. We have a Shemesh v'Yareach in one praise, and the Kochavim in a separate praise. But I don't understand. We see in Chazal and Bereshis Rabbah, Parsha Vavos Daled, that the Kochavim are mitzaref to the Levana. El Shehem Heim Advarim. So if they're mitzaref to Levana, so why is it in a separate Hallelu? And the answer is because the hill of the Kochavim is Misug Acher Legamre. It's an under sort hill, it's a complete different category. It's the hill of the Oraganus, of Asid Lavo, of that much higher level of light. And Memela, it has its own hill separate from the sun and the moon. And we can also add that Chazal say that we should see the Kochavim Derech HaSchach, and Sukkah is mentioned only by Yaakov. And Sukkah also, as Rafutna beautifully explains in Lamar Ben Yom Kippur, Maimer Zayin, Sukkah is connected to Acharis Hayamim, and then we're going to get that light that is in the stars. So that's why you have to have the Sukkah, which is Yaakov Avinu, and see the stars, which is a Remez L'Olam Haba, and this Chag HaAsif, it's when we gather in all the Kedusha, all the Torah mitzvahs of all the generations, that is Keneged, Asid Lavo, Baruch Hashem. We have great insight into Succos, and into the Or HaGanuz, and into Bein Hashmashos, and we should be Zoche, and also Zera Kodesh, and the Midas. We should be Zoche, Lilmodu L'Lamed, Lishmar V'Las L'Kayim. It's called Divrei Salmut Terasa V'Yahava. Amen v'Amen. Shalom, Shalom, Sweetest and most beloved friends.